Do you want to play Minecraft but none of your friends are ever available? If you're looking for a cozy server, then Earfy SMP is just the thing for you. You can build here, find communities or start your own, and make new friends. The server is available for both Java and Bedrock, and you can join it with the IP earfysmp.mineserver.top, and the Bedrock port for it is 25638. Now, for you to have the best experience, I recommend you join our Discord so that you can always share any issues you run into and find the rest of the community to chat with, leave some suggestions for the server, etc. Now, when you join our server, you start out with a little starter kit, so you get stone tools to begin with and a book that tells you how to claim land, but we'll get back to that later. Now, when you start out, I really recommend that you look around the spawn a little bit. There are several NPCs that give you a little bit of tips about the server. We also have a little wampus that gives you a link to join our Discord, and we have a creative world that you can join. So that's a completely separate world where you're able to test things out and build if you'd like to do so. So let's go over there. You start in creative, and unfortunately, to be able to build in this world, you do have to claim a piece of land. So just grab yourself a golden shovel. It can literally be any golden shovel. You can just get it from here, and then find a little area that you want to build in. Let's say I want to build right over here. Make sure the area is big enough. And then this is my little area that I can build in and test stuff out. And that way you don't have to go back to a single player world if you want to test something out to see how it works or how it's going to look. And now, if you want to go back to the regular survival world, all you have to do is just type in /warp spawn, and it'll bring you right back. And as you can see, your inventory does not transfer over. An important thing is you need to know the rules of the SMP. We're a pretty chill SMP, so we don't really want people hacking, x-raying, stealing, griefing each other, and also not saying anything inappropriate in chat. You know, be respectful, don't be discriminatory, and you'll be fine. If you want to start building, start up your home, there are two different things you can do. You can join one of the already existing towns, which are these two. I personally really like Earfy Town because it's based on my whole aesthetic. So, no, it's pretty chill, pretty cozy, pretty cute. This town also has a little area with animal spawners. So if you want cows, sheep, chicken, or pigs, you know, any of those resources, you can just come here and get them because this is a trusted area. And above here and we also have a community enchanting table and anvil that you can use. If you don't want to build in any of the existing towns, another thing that you could do is type /RTP or /wild, and it will teleport you to a random location somewhere in the world. So we've been teleported on top of a jungle tree. Let's get ourselves down. Now here is a bit more of an open area. So let's say I want to make my house over here. First thing I'm gonna do is probably make sure I have a crafting table, a furnace, and a chest. If this is your very first chest that you're putting down on the server, it will automatically create a claim for you so that your stuff within a little area is protected. If you want to extend this area or manually create a new claim somewhere, you can easily do /kit claim, and it will give you the golden shovel that you need to create claims. Now, what is a claim? A claim is basically an area that protects all of your stuff. Nobody can come into it and build or break blocks unless you decide to give them permission to. So I've just created a claim by right-clicking on one corner and then deciding to go to the other side diagonally and right-clicking again. If you want to make your claim bigger or smaller, you just right-click on the corner again and you move it inwards, right-click again, move it outwards. and you have a friend that's joining the server and you want them to also be able to build within the claimed area that you have, then you would do /trust and then their username. I'm just going to do the admin because I trust him. He's a very good friend of mine. Bam. If you want to have a build where people can just access the animals, access anvils, the chests, but not be able to break or build any blocks, you can do /container_trust name. Now you can see they can access containers and animals in this claim. If you want to make something accessible for everybody, you can do the same commands, but instead of typing a name, you would just type all, and then everybody will be able to access everything in your claim, whether it's with the container trust or the regular trust. If you want to be able to get back to your house easily, the next thing I recommend you do is do /sethome, and then you can choose to just do /sethome, or you can do space and then give it a name. So let's say I'm gonna call it beach. If I'm out traveling and I want to quickly go back to my house, what I can do is /home beach for me. I have a lot of homes already. There. I easily get teleported back to where I did my /sethome. Now you can do this command 3 times, so you can have 3 separate homes as a regular player. If you decide I want to move out of a place that I've set a home where I no longer want it, you can do /delhome and then the name of whatever place you want to get rid of. Say you've got your little house. Another thing that we have on the server that I think is really fun to have is we have a Dynmap. So if you go to earfysmp.mineserver.top :25738, you will get a map and overview of the entire world, and you can see where players are. So I'm right here, and this is where the world spawn is, so you can see all of the builds that are going on here. So you can also do that for the nether and for the end. You know, you can see everything. Now, of course, there are certain things that you kind of need to know to be able to play the game or enjoy the game a little bit better. First things first, if you're ready to go to the end and you don't want to find an end portal, you can just type in /warp_end and you will get teleported to this location where you have a portal available. You can also access ender chests here or just drop items in random chests whenever you have some kind of full inventory. We also have a couple of fun little extras. We have a little sitting plugin. So if you type /sit, you can sit on stairs and slabs, or I think basically everywhere. And yeah, you can sit wherever you'd like if you'd like to sit. You can also do, you can do /lay, and then you're just laying down like this. Looks kind of weird. You can also do /crawl, and then you're just laying down like this and you're crawling. Now say you teleported to the end and you're like, shoot, I forgot something at home. You can just do /home and type the name, or you can just do /back, and then you will go back to your previous location, which is a really handy command. Now, if you want, you can teleport to other players or teleport other players to you. If you want to teleport a player to you, you type /tpahere and then the username, and it will send out a request for the other person to accept. If I want to TPA to another person, I can do /tpa and then type their username. Whoa, they're in the dark. Hi, so they just accepted the request. Now, if you get a TP request, you can type /tpa cancel if you do not want to accept the request. And if you do want to accept it, you just type /tp accept. If you'd like to message someone, you can do /w as for whisper, and then type in the name and then type in the message that you want to whisper to them. So boom, and then it's a private message that doesn't show up in chat but does go to the other person. You can also use these /message commands If you want to create group chats, you can do /group chats, and then you can see all of the different options you have to be creating group chats, deleting them, inviting people. So let's say I want to make one, I would type /group chat create and then a name. I can invite people by doing /group chat invite and then typing in a username. I can do /group chat, say hi, and if you want to continuously be talking in the group chat and not accidentally send something in regular chat, you can do /group chat toggle, and then every message that you send in regular chat will just go to the group chat. If you want to be able to say stuff back in normal chat, you can just toggle it back off. Now let's say you've got yourself a little parrot friend. Now let's say you no longer want to have this pet, or you want to give it to a friend of yours. You can type /givepet and then type in the username of whatever person you want to give it to. And then if you right click the pet, you would be giving it away to the other person, and then the other person would be in control of the pet. If you want to cancel this, you can just type /givepet cancel. Another nice thing that we actually have, by the way, is we have a plugin that allows it so just one person can sleep and skip the night. Let's say you're out exploring and it's nighttime, there's nobody online to sleep or whatever, and you happen to die. You've respawned and you have nothing in your inventory except this little pointer thing. It is actually something that guides you to your grave. So if you've died, you will get a little grave that stays up for 12 hours for you to get back to get your levels and your items. Now you can follow this little pointer and just walk your way there, or you can just walk towards the coordinates, or if a staff member is online, feel free to ask one of them to teleport you to those coordinates. So we're walking, and as you can see here, I have a little grave that I can either open and get all of my stuff from, or I can just break it and all of my stuff will drop. Now, if for some reason you are unable to get your grave back, don't worry, you can create a ticket in the Discord server and ask if we can get you your inventory and your stuff back, because we have a plugin that saves all of your inventories upon death. Now we also have a plugin installed that gives you more possibilities of getting mob heads. So if you're killing mobs, you'll have a chance to get their heads. As you can see, like normally you wouldn't really be able to get a wandering trader head or a brown trader llama head, but with that plugin you do. Now something else that you can do is when you find a spawner, right, you'll light it up and maybe you'll consider creating an XP farm, but maybe it's like really far from your house. So now on this server you're able to mine it with Silk Touch and then pick up the spawner and move it wherever you'd like. This doesn't work for all spawners. So the spawners that you have in like trial chambers, it won't work with those because they're like really special, crazy spawners, but it'll work with all of the basic, and it'll also work for all of the ones that you can buy from the shop. Now, something else we've added is we have a little PvP plugin and leaderboard. So as you can see here, we have a leaderboard for the person who has killed the most other players, not as a way to say you can just go up and kill other players, but if it is a fight that you both agree on, you know, you can PvP and you will show up on the leaderboard here if you've had the most, and number one will also have their NPC here. So the plugin we use makes it so you can't fight in claims and just makes it a little bit more noticeable that you're in a PvP fight with each other, and just guides you through it a little bit better. And when you kill another player, you also get their head as a little kind of victory bonus. Sounds kind of morbid, but you know, you get the point, you get the gist of it. Next up, how can you make money in this server? So we work with a currency in the server. If you do /bal or /balance, you can see how much money you have. Now, if you want to see who has the most money in the server, you can do /baltop, and it will just show you a list of the richest players, and you can keep going if you want to see the next few people and the next few people and the next few people. If you go to spawn, there is a more visual representation of who has the most money as well, and that is up here in this little auction house, which I'll get into in a minute. And here you can see a leaderboard. With shaders it's not super visible, but we have a little leaderboard of who has the most money, and then the NPC of the #1 person on the balance leaderboard. Now, how can you make money, right? I'm sure that's your next question. We'll start here actually. You have the auction house. Now, the auction house is a situation where people can sell items for whatever price they want. If I want to buy this diamond sword, I will get the diamond sword, and the seller, Hellblossom, will get 1000 coins. If you want to access the auction house from somewhere away from spawn, you can just type /AH. If you want to sell something in the auction house, let's say 5 bread. I will hold 5 breads. I will type /AH sell, and I want to sell them for 15 coins, and I want the auction to be up for 3 days. I can type 3D after. That stands for the amount of days. If I wanted to just be up for 24 hours, I can type 24 hours. And then unfortunately, you have to pay 5% taxes on whatever you want to sell, and whenever you want to buy something, you also have to pay 5% taxes. So boom, I'm selling it. Now, if I go look at the auction house, you can see it's up there. Now, if you have an auction that has expired, nobody's bought it, and you want the items back, you can just click this little chest here and you can get them back. Another way that you can make money is by checking out the /shop. The shop has a lot of different items. You can't buy a lot though, just as an FYI, but you can see what everything sells for. As you can see, it says cannot be bought because we don't want to sell too many things, because we don't really want to impact the gameplay too much. Now, building blocks you can buy. People have asked us, hey, if we want to do big builds, we would really like building blocks, so you can buy building blocks. If you'd like to request any new ones, make sure to add them to the suggestions channel in the Discord. You can also buy the decorations. You can also buy and sell some spawners, not all of them. So having the shop, being able to buy certain things is an incentive for people to grow their balance and make some money. Another way that you can make money is by starting up your own player shop. So here's a little board that tells you how to do it exactly, but I'll also show you how it works. So if you want one of these plots in the little shopping area or shopping district, you can just ask either Mighty Tree or myself, ask it in the Discord, and we'll just give you an area that you can build in. Now, if you're entering a shop and you see an item that you'd really like to buy, so let's say, oh, I would like some black tea. You can click the sign and just enter in chat how many you'd like to buy. This also works with the same coins. Then I just bought one for 15 coins, and now I have a little black tea that I can enjoy. Okay, so let's say you want to start selling in your own shop and you have your little area to start building in. You can put down a chest, or you can put down a barrel, and then you can hold an item and click the chest or click the barrel and enter how much you want to sell one for. So let's say I want to sell 1 jungle log for 5 coins. You see a sign pops up that says out of stock jungle log 5 each, because there's none in there right now. But if I enter this stack, bam, if somebody wants 64 jungle logs, they can buy it for 5 coins. Like I said, the same goes for this. So if I click it with a shovel, I want to sell the shovel for 5 coins. I can now sell the shovel, people can buy the shovel, and there's this little floating item on top. Now, if you want to make some adjustments, you can right click the sign. You can toggle free status, and that means currently people won't be able to buy anything. You can decide to change the price by clicking here. So let's say I now want to sell it for 15 because there's a shortage on stone shovels. I can do it like that. Now you see the little floating item. If you don't want that on top of your chest, you can just toggle it off like this. If you want to see who has bought from your shop, you can click view, and then you'll be able to see who has purchased your items from you, which is really handy. Now let's say you don't want this shop anymore. There are different ways that you can get rid of it. I think you can just mine the chest and it'll get rid of the shop. Another way that you can do it is by, I think, selecting the shop and then just doing /quick shop remove, and then the shop that you're looking at or have selected will be gone and you will just have items in a barrel. Now, if you want to pay another user, that's also possible. You can just type in chat, do /pay, then type in their username and then however much you want to pay them, as little as 1 coin that I have just sent to Mighty Tree. You're welcome, Tree. Now, let's go through all of the data packs that we've added, because there's quite a bit. Now, the first data pack we have is Armour Statues. All you need for this is basically an armor stand, and then you need the statues book. Now, the statues book should normally be craftable, but I found out that it doesn't really work. But I will make sure to add a little house to the spawn village where you will be able to get this book in case you want to use this data pack. So you place an armor stand and then you open the book and you can see here all of the things that you can do. So you can select which things you want to apply to this armor stand. So I just pressed show arms, yes, and then it showed arms. I want the stand to become smaller. I can type yes and it will turn the stand smaller. So if you want to move the position slightly, you can do it with these. If we want it to be saluting, we can set it so it's saluting. As you can see, you have a lot of different things that you can do with the help of this book if you really like building and using armor stands within your builds. And this is also fun because we have the extra mob heads, so you can just place them on top and have those in there. This is really fun. This is really cool. The next data pack we have is called Better Pets, and this basically allows you to get some floating pets that you can level up and then get some extra abilities from. So first things first, you have to craft the menu for it. So what you need for that is 2 bones, a heart of the sea, and a chest, and then you will get this little pet menu. When you hold it, you get a little minecart with a chest on your head. That's how the creator made it, and then you will see this little menu. It's currently a bit bugged, but with the help of the developer of it, we're looking into whether or not this can be fixed. Now, if you want to get one of the pets, you just have to go and try to find some shipwrecks or some buried treasures, and most likely you will find a pet in there. There's a bunch of different pets that you can get with all different abilities. Now, say you found an axolotl pet somewhere. If you want to add it to your menu, I know you'll be likely to drag it in there. Don't do that. It might make it disappear. You have to hold it and right click it, and that'll add it to your pet list. And now you can go to your pet menu and you can see that it's added in there. Now, if you want to activate it, you would just click it in this menu. There you go. There's your pet floating behind you. Now, if you want to level it up, all you have to do is basically get yourself some more XP. See, as you can see, I've just gotten myself some more XP and I've leveled up my pets. We can see the progress of our axolotl, how much it's leveled up. So if I want to level it up to the next level, I will need 26 more XP, and that's how it goes for every pet. Now, if you want to despawn your pet, which I do recommend if you're going to teleport to another location, or you're going to another warp, another world, or you're leaving the game, just to prevent any glitches, go back to your pet menu and just click this purple die. It says here in the back, despawn pet, despawn your active pets. Then it will just despawn the pet, it'll be gone and back into your inventory. If you want to give your pet to another person for some reason, or you want to display it, you can activate your pet and then click this gray die where it says convert pet to item, and then you will get it as an item again. Another data pack we added is called Explorify, and this one basically just kind of manipulates the world generation. It adds a couple of extra structures into the world, like big towers, extra little villager houses, more jungle structures, etc. So if you find something that you haven't seen before but looks kind of vanilla-ish Minecraft, that's what that is. Another data pack that kind of adjusts the way the world looks is Tidal Towns. It's a data pack where basically you have villagers spawning in the middle of the ocean. So if you're out traveling the seas, you will still run into villagers, crops, a place for you to be safe and spend the night if need be. Now, something else we added is some flower armor. It's just a cute little something that adds flowers to your armor. So normally we have this on the server, but I just realized that the creator hasn't updated the data pack yet for later versions than 1.21.4. So unfortunately, you can still see it when people have it, but at the moment you can't craft it. So normally you would be able to put a vine in the first slot of the smithing table, then your armor piece, and then a flower, and it would come out looking something like this. If you have the necessary items to do this, I think we should be able to quote-unquote summon them as admin or owner. So we'll try and still get it to people until hopefully someday the creator upgrades the data pack. Next up we have Josh's More Foods. This here shows you how you can get the cookbook for it. So if you put a book and quill and some bread together, you get Josh's cookbook. And in that cookbook, it shows you how you can craft the cooking station and any of all of these foods, which you can craft in either a crafting table or the cooking station. So let's say we want to make some rice, then we're going to need some seeds and some water. So you go into the cooking station, you add a bucket of water, and now it's filled the water up, and you can take the bucket back if you'd like, and we can add 6 seeds and it will turn it into rice. Now, as a part of this data pack, you can create teas, and sometimes when you break trees, the leaves will drop tea leaves. Now, if you make a teacup with a couple of bricks, just like so, here I have some tea leaves. These are the tea leaves you get from breaking trees. We add the tea leaves and a little cup here. It should create tea. Boop. And now we have green tea that we can drink, and it'll give you a little bit of regeneration, which is really nice. And if you ever want to see what every food gives you, you just create a book of nutrition, which is with a book and quill and a carrot. Next up, we have a fun little thing called racks. You can make little tool racks to display your tools either on the wall or just on the floor. So if you put 2 sticks like this and then 3 planks above it, you will get a little rack, and then you can place it wherever you'd like and just add your tools to it. You can break it, and like I've said, you can also mount it to the wall just like this, and then you can add your tool in there. It's just a nice way to also be able to display your tools and not just your armor. And yes, you can make them with different types of wood. Then we have a small little thing where basically you can silence a mob with the help of a name tag. If we go into an anvil with a name tag and we call it silence me, we have a zombie. I want to say you can clearly hear the zombie, but you can clearly the other mobs more. But if we name tag, as you can see, it glowed and it now has the name silenced, and you cannot hear the zombie anymore. And then we have one of my favorite additions, which is a bit decorative, and it's called tool trims. So basically what it does is it adds trims like you could add to your armor, but do your tools. And it just makes it a bit more personal. To be able to do that, you need a toolsmithing table. Now to craft a toolsmithing table, you just need 2 copper ingots and then 4 planks beneath it like this, and bam! You can place it down. It looks a bit glitchy because datapacks and shader packs don't always work super well together, but you can go into it and place any of your tools and one of these 4 tool trims. Now these tool trims can be found anywhere throughout the world in chests, just like you would find any other kind of loot. So let's add the linear tool trim, and let's do that with diamonds. Boom. We have a pretty cool looking stone sword with an element of diamonds. So let's add the charge tool trim with some copper. Then we have a copper looking sword, super cool. We can also do the frost tool trim. Then we have a sword that looks like this. And you can do this with basically any tool that you have, and once again, any type of ore that you can find as well. You can even do it with redstone dust if you'd like. Now the next data pack is one that kind of adjusts the end. So you have your dragon fight event, but with the help of true ending, the dragon gets a little bit more difficult. You have different attacks, the dragon gets more health, and you have some cool extra animations and particles going on in the end. This just makes the dragon fight a little bit more interesting for people who have defeated it a couple of times. And if you ever want it to be even more difficult, have it have more health, feel free to ask one of the admins or owners and we will help get you a more difficult dragon to fight. Here are some clips of what the fight actually looks like. We're almost there, don't worry. Next up we have a little data pack called Undying Pets. So you know a totem of undying. It gives you an extra life in case you die, and now you can also give one to your pets. If you throw a totem of undying to your pet, it will pick it up and thus give it an extra life. If you want to check if your pet still has the totem of undying, you can just hold one and it'll start glowing. So your little parrot friends or your dog or your cat can stick around longer and won't have to run into any death issues. Now, normally in Minecraft, when you have Amethyst and a budding Amethyst, you would not be able to break the budding Amethyst block and take it home with you. But we added a data pack that allows for you to mine the budding amethyst, so you can bring it home and place it wherever you would like. That's just a small little extra. Now another small thing we added is you can create mini blocks. You basically go into a stone cutter and can place most but not all blocks that aren't registered by a stone cutter already, and it will turn it into little mini blocks. So you can do that for logs. You can do that for a block of gold, for a block of amethyst, for a freaking barrel. I don't know exactly how many items you can do it for, but you can do it for quite a lot, which really opens up the possibility of decorating your builds even more. Now, if you're at spawn and you're somebody who likes to decorate with some extra blocks, we actually have some villagers that are selling heads for a couple of gold. It gives gold a little function and it just makes decorating a lot more fun. Now, if you have certain suggestions for heads, feel free to drop them in a suggestion channel in the Discord. There's a pinned message there that gives you a link to the website where I get the heads from. A final thing I want to share is that if you're personally interested in creating your own town where you have a little NPC over at spawn so people can join your village, you can go over to this little bar house here, and we have a little chest area where you can drop a book with coordinates, the name of your town, and then if you have an NPC skin suggestion, you can drop it in here as well, and then we will add it over to the city warps that people can go to. So far nobody's done that, so you could be the first person to start up your own player town. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found everything you needed to in this video. If I forgot anything, please do make sure to let me know, and if you have any other questions, feel free to join the Discord and ask them over there. I hope you come and join our Earfy SMP, and we look forward to seeing you there. Bye!